And we're back, and you are listening to Villaincast, BJJ Anti-Heroes, with myself, Chris, the Villain Pains, and Naqi, El Jefe, our shed. And welcome to Reap the Week. But first, a quick thank you to our members at In Theory BJJ Concept-Driven Jiu-Jitsu. For fight commentary, technique and concept videos, private coaching, monthly webinars and Q&A sessions, please visit www.patreon.com/InTheoryBJJ. And for those on the YouTube channel, we actually now have t-shirts too. Look, merch. We did it, and I think yellow is the best color for these. Sup, Naq?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good.
Cool t-shirt that is. Cool t-shirt that is. I'm waiting for mine.
Dude, it's nice, isn't it? I don't worry, it's on its way. It's on its way, man. I am amazed. So I put up that little post, and you know the results of people coming back and buying one of these things. I'm sending them all over the world. I had to take a guess of shipping, which I may have gone a bit too low. I may be losing out on a lot of money on this shipping.
But the brand grows. Nice. The brand grows.
It does. Yeah, it represent. Put that out there. So yeah, the in theory BJJ. It's taken off. I'm so happy. I've actually
good.
This is my baby now. My baby. Fight Fit in one hand, Villaincast, and In Theory, and it's all taken off. It's been a fun week. We had a good roll on Monday.
Yes, we did.
That was sore Tuesday. It was wild.
It was rough.
Gi is back.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like before we started doing stuff In Theory, we hadn't made any gi content in so long. We put the gi on, and we were like, "The hell are we doing?" But I'm glad it's really changing up some of the dynamics right now, making us like rethink a few things.
Yeah. It just means the answer. You can't just have an answer for all, can you? It's different.
No.
You can't just say one rule for something and it'll just go across the board.
I think concept's universal. I think concepts can be carried across.
Yes. Some things. But there's a lot of certain things that you can do in gi that you can't do in no gi. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think concept's universal. I think that's the problem as well. Is like you have to make the concept. You have to understand grappling and body mechanics, physics, and physiology. Because otherwise, I think, especially if you're no-gi, you get very stuck into fighting the jacket when you get gi for the first time. Same as if you are in gi, you get obsessed with the grips. And then when you find someone without grips, you're like, I don't know how to fight this person. So I think you need to understand jiu-jitsu. And that's what we're here for, in theory. So, dude, the mailbag this week. Oh Lord. Yeah, we have a hell of a mailbag this week, and some of these questions I forgot to write one down. I didn't put it on my Instagram just because I feel that some people may have been upset with the wording this person used.
Oh,
but here, who gives a fuck?
Is it something about Gracie Baja?
No.
Oh.
But when you hear the question, you'll laugh at what you just said.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I know. Just prepare yourself.
I'll be ready.
When you see it, you'll understand. I'll wink at you so you're ready for that question, if I remember to. Okay, first question from our mailbag. Without a rule set, does all grappling devolve into some form of wrestling?
Ooh, yes. Yes, because... no, I don't know, because wrestling is a branch of grappling. Like, grappling is overall... oh, man, no. No, I'm going to change. It's not yes, it's no. Because... yeah, you can grapple without wrestling. Yeah, But there has to be. I don't know. It's the terms, man. Like, what's wrestling? Taking someone down. That's it, ain't it? Really. But grappling is all about taking someone down or even submitting them standing. There's submissions involved. So I don't know.
Okay,
I can't give a definitive answer on that.
Well, I think yes. Is
wrestling.
My personal opinion. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, as in, don't think of it as in wrestling rules. But if you were to, without a rule set, does all grappling devolve into some form of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, because wrestling, you could argue, is the actual art of grappling in itself, because you're like wrestling, like if you were to like give an example of something else, grabbing something or two other maybe animals grappling, you'd probably define it, you'd probably say, oh, look, they're wrestling, because you can wrestle on the ground as well, can't you? To an extent, like we're gripping, holding, and using the same grips. So yeah, it's some form of wrestling, not. Yeah, from a rule set perspective, I know what you mean. Yes, I agree.
Oh, from a historical perspective, you think we've always wrestled as human beings.
Yeah, and you wrestle someone to the ground.
Or you think, well, the general rule set of wrestling has always been the person on top wins.
Yeah.
And this is one of the frustrating things about jiu-jitsu is that the reason we do jiu-jitsu is to put people on their ass because it limits their power. And historically, for wrestling, if you put someone on their ass, they can't get up. Like you can only get up if you're facing the floor in some way, eventually. And so if you're on your ass, you're going to get stabbed, shot, beaten, fucked up. So I think, if you take out all the rule sets of like, I mean, rules are there for safety and to guide the action. If you take out those rule sets and it was just like, right, fucking free for all. Yeah, it's gonna be wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to the ground. I'm gonna fucking hurt you.
Yeah.
It's always gonna go back to wrestling.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu, I say this in various forms, is currently just being so gentrified, and we are just cosplaying as warriors and fighters, living in the heyday of UFC 1 and Hoist. And there is, I would argue, no jiu-jitsu in MMA. Not really. Very little.
With the you can argue that actually with recent fights, yes. Like
there's
even 2023.
Wrestling. There's wrestling
yes
with submissions, but there's not jiu-jitsu. Not as jiu-jitsu as you'd find in the average gym. That's like doing like Wing Chun, like basic Wing Chun, and then thinking you're Jackie Chan or like Bruce Lee or something. Like it's not the same. Like they're doing backflips and like wasting multiple people in movies, and you're just pretending. And that's jiu-jitsu now. We do some of the same things. There's a rear naked choke and an arm bar and a couple of those cute things, but we are no relation to MMA. The jiu-jitsu used to be feeder gyms into MMA. Now you really have to like take some of the submissions of jiu-jitsu and just use it in wrestling.
Yeah.
As essentially it. Yeah. And so it all eventually just turns back into wrestling. Be the fucker on top. Be the heavier bastard on top. And I said this at a seminar, I think at the weekend, is that, again, it's the fucking gentrification of it. Drives me insane, because this whole thing we're talking about being the person on top, holding the other person down, and then we get this, but what if I'm the smaller person and they're a bigger person? I'm like, fuck you. Like, quite frankly, is, sorry, the bigger person's going to kick your head in. I can't fight physics. Like, I'm sorry that no matter how much money you give me, I can't solve this problem. Like, you come in thinking you can open your wallet, give me money, and I'm going to make the bad big person stop hurting you. No, I can't. Can't fight physics. I may give you a shot if they're stupid, but you're going to get hurt. Like, unfortunately, you've been dealt a bad hand. You're a smaller person. You don't like being a small, weak person. Go find some TRT and some roids and some human growth hormone and a gym, and we'll talk. Like, I remember, like, I was going to put up a self-defense class in our town, and it was literally just going to be directions to the running track. Like, There's no fucking thing as self-defense. Just run away. Like, just learn to run away faster.
Yeah.
Stop being stupid. Stop thinking that you can throw money at someone who's going to fix these problems that are literally impossible sometimes, until you're a bad, strong person. And yeah, so it's one of those frustrating things that I hear is like, you know, people whinging at what we do, saying, "Oh, you wrestle too much," and what if I'm a smaller person? Well, fuck. Sorry. Can't
Wrestle
help you on
better.
that one. Like,
be faster, cut angles.
Yeah, get on top, and hope you fucking hold them, can hold them down. Because what kind of stupid advice is it? Stupid fucking advice. Hey, this person's bigger and heavier than you. Lie underneath them, you'll be fine.
Oh God, because you're gay.
That's a bit strong. But, like, yeah, like lie down, and hopefully your inversions onto your neck will save you against this bear.
This rule set in it, like Jiu-Jitsu allows it, doesn't it? Like, so it's pull guard. I mean, I know this. I was saying this to John Woodchopper the other day, where I was like, always wrestle, but I'll only pull guard if it's gi, or if I'm against a wrestler and I'm like, he's fucking like Division 1 or something, and I got no chance, mate. I'm gonna go for his legs. But other than that, wrestle.
Yeah, like that's the only hope you have, is maybe you can catch him in a sneaky submission.
Yeah.
But as so I did the breakdown. Have you watched that fight with Buchecha and Omar Kane?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I told you about.
You told me about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Buchecha's throwing leg locks at him. I'm pretty sure Omar Kane has no jiu-jitsu experience. But not to Buchecha's level of jiu-jitsu experience.
Yeah, 10 times.
Buchecha's throwing leg locks at him. And you can't break his posture, can't break his balance. He just strips him off his leg and fucks him up a bit more. This is a jiu-jitsu champion. Black belt, one of the best of us. And he gets smoked by a guy who doesn't really do submissions. Dude, it's bad advice. I mean, you can make the argument, but you see people who are good at submissions doing well in good at guard and doing well in jiu-jitsu competitions. Yeah, because the majority of jiu-jitsu people suck at standing up.
Like, unfortunately, the unfortunate truth.
Yeah, put them against some wrestlers who understand basic submission defense, and let's see how you get on. Like you just said there, like you're on a pull guard against a Division 1 person because you hope that they don't know what the fuck. You can maybe catch them in some magic.
Yeah.
But if you can't catch them in magic, what are your choices there?
Exactly. Like,
you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, question then. So, because that's a jiu-jitsu rule set, like you hope that you can maybe catch this person in magic. You're in an MMA fight and you're against a D1 wrestler. Do you pull guard?
No fucking chance.
Exactly, it's a bad plan. It's a bad plan in a fight. Like, what do you do if you're against in an M1 in an MMA fight against a D1 wrestler?
If I know he's fucking good wrestler, pray and make sure my striking can keep him away and my wrestling defense. You know what I mean? Because D1 wrestlers in MMA have been kept off with guys with good wrestling defense. Like, I mean, Adesanya is a very, very recent example of keeping wrestlers away because all the middleweights were wrestlers, and it's like he kept them all off him. You know, there's a lot of examples where you can use good strikers keeping wrestlers away. Like Wonderboy, he was good when he fought Woodley for a couple of times, couldn't take him down. So, yeah, I ain't sitting down, mate. I don't think anybody should. It's bad advice. I think, wasn't it Cron Gracie in his recent, UFC fight where he was just pull guard and he was just like...
It looks sad.
Yeah, it did look sad. That was bad for Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu's bad for Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu's ruining itself. Right?
Yeah, imploding.
He's the only person who went and actually used regular gym Jiu-Jitsu in an MMA fight and he got laughed at. We're back to UFC 1 at this rate of like watching strip mall taekwondo people going in and getting eaten. It's like, you're not supposed to be here. But we're all still stuck cosplaying. It's sad.
It is sad.
Okay, I don't mind people cosplaying. Sure. Let's go pretend we're warriors. But at least be goddamn honest about it. Like, if you're gonna play a sport, go play the game of jiu-jitsu, accept it. You ain't fighting. Like, you say you're gonna go have a fight. You ain't fighting. Like, you have a jiu-jitsu match in a sport. That's fine. You're competing in a sport. of jiu-jitsu. It's not really fighting. It's that's like someone like doing like touch karate and then thinking they had a fight. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't even touch the other person. Like, don't lie to me.
I think most karate was touch ones, did. I don't know.
Yeah, but it seems like Kokushan and stuff like that, where they like I pronounced that completely wrong.
Oh, like Shotokan was one version, isn't it, where they really hit each other. Shotokan karate.
Shotokan sometimes. Yeah. It's the Kyokushin or whatever it is. That's the one where they really leather each other. Like, yeah, that's like saying that is any relationship to like Gokan Ryu karate, where they do you can't make contact. Like, to say they're in the same ballpark. Like, yeah, okay, you do the same sort of moves, but you don't train the same. We could be on this forever, so I need to put it to bed. Next question.
Yes.
Favorite grappling promotion, and why is it the WWE? I'm like, okay. Did you ever watch WWE?
Yeah, when I was younger, hardcore. Like, when I say hardcore, we've got nicknames in our family, all of us have. So yeah, we were proper on it when we were young. Yeah.
Did you play any games?
Yes, I did.
Games. Okay, what was your
SmackDown, era? Played Attitude Era on PS1. I played the WWE Attitude Era. I think when it got to like 2005, 6, got a bit older, like come off the WWE games and just followed it a little bit. But yeah, the older I got, the less like we paid attention. The more we found out that I think I was about 11 or 12 when I found out it's fake, and it like broke my heart a bit. And I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think that was about 2002. I got off it. I'm Warzone. So I think I'm just before. Yeah. I'm a little bit older. I'm in the Warzone.
Yeah.
WWE era. Then SmackDown 1, SmackDown 2. Pretty much just having rolling on repeat. I think that was the Undertaker's theme at the time.
Yeah. Just keep rolling.
Yeah. Exactly. That was just on repeat for me. That break of the glass or Stone Cold. Yeah. Which, yeah, when it comes to grappling promotions, WWE. Scotty Too High. Was that was my like.
Remember his win.
That was my go-to. Dude, I can't believe at some point in time, because that's one of the reasons I didn't get into MMA as fast as I did, is because when I found that WWE wasn't as real as it may have seemed, I thought UFC was like a competitor, like another WWE kind of like fake fighting.
Oh yeah, fake fighting.
Like, I ignored it, and like my cousin was watching, Chuck versus Tito, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not real.
It's fake.
And then you find out, it's a bit more real. It's a bit serious, this one.
Yeah.
Should have got into it earlier. Might have found jiu-jitsu earlier. Who knew? Okay, so actual grappling promotions. Do you watch any?
I don't watch them for grappling promotions. I'll watch like the bigger fighters, with like if they're fighting on WNO or if they're on Polaris or if they're on Flow Grappling. So I'm not really, how like some jiu-jitsu guys are like hardcore fanboys for promotions. Like I'm not really. I'll just watch whichever grappler I want to watch, or if I'm studying something, then I'll watch their fights on whatever promotion they're on. So I personally haven't got really a favorite promotion, but I think Polaris is the one I say I'll like watch every time they put it out, because obviously it's local. Well, it's England, and they always put on some really good matches. Yeah, Polaris, because they're regular as well, like and the streaming is okay for us. Yeah. Maybe that's the only reason why Polaris, but other than that, I don't mind. Like Grapple Fest, again, when they have good cards, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a favourite, but yeah, it is just the ones who put the best matches on. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not hardcore fanboying over promotions. Like, I see someone and I'm thinking, come on, mate, chill out.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Polaris. I've obviously been to a couple of Polaris events back in the day, but now it's like, I think I have to manage my jiu-jitsu intake to not burn myself out.
Yeah.
It's the same like when I get to class, like you think, we've got a 3-hour class of an evening. I might have already done 4 or 5 hours in the gym, And when you're making videos, and you've got podcasts, and then
Gets
all
a
the
bit too
writing
much
in
in it.
between, I'm like, if I then sat down and watched jiu-jitsu videos, I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, if there's like a decent fight going on, I'll see clips of it. And ADCC, I did sit down to watch that because that's our Olympics.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should put this on. I actually no, I did bring the laptop down, didn't I? I put it on in the gym. I think next time which is this year, 2024.
Yeah.
I might try and get tickets for that. Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'll put that in on, put a projector on. We watch that in the gym again. Put a barbecue on, have a great time.
Yeah.
Here's our Olympics. But other than that, I want to watch some guys who aren't drug tested fight each other.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like that puts me off a bit when I think like most of you are roided, man. Like, skillfully, some of you are good, but yeah. And then the promotions are like trying to shun it. Like, no, it's okay. Like we don't do none of that business. Like, yeah, all right then, mate. I mean, I take it.
Craig Jones said, like,
sorry, go on.
If you want to get big in jiu-jitsu, you have to. It's a little bit of autism, a lot of steroids.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, I take MMA a bit more seriously, but watching it as well and following it. But I don't really follow grappling. Just the latest something you'll hear or some of the bigger stars, and it's like, oh, something's going down. But yeah. I mean, I like the Ruto brothers because they have the whole like we're clean and you can tell they're clean and we're getting on with it and we want to beat all the bloody roid heads. But yeah, that makes it a bit interesting, and I believe you can. It's just being given the opportunities and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Next question, and we tried this actually on Monday. Maybe we should do a clip of this sometime. Would you use the down block during gi?
Yes.
So
Why not?
Today. I think.
I mean, you used it. I was trying to get the lapel through your legs, and you kept using the down block. I was like, for fuck's sake, just move your hand, Chris.
Yeah, I think there's a benefit. Obviously, the gi is that you can grab hold of the collar and just lock someone out into position a little bit and stop that. But again, you have to understand about inside outside, and not inside outside, but as in like who's got the center line. Cutting the angles around the back of elbows. There's a lot to think about, and I think 3D control. Talking about that last week and this week, I think that's important when you're looking at the gi. But I think the main thing about down block is it's not there exactly the down block. I mean, that's very important when it comes to no gi, but it's the posture. Yeah, like, that's the thing that we probably found the other day is that we were both quite strong postured.
Yeah,
and when you mix that with a good down block in the gi as well, it becomes really difficult. We should actually put up a rolling footage of that one.
Did we record that roll? We didn't.
It's on.
Oh, slam cam, yeah, but the quality is not amazing.
There's not this. Nah. Yeah, I think we should. Well, I'm bringing the gi tomorrow, so I think we should do some recording.
Yeah.
We'll record a roll.
Let's do it,
including stand up. Let's do it. So that'll answer that one. Next one, Boston Crab entries.
Why do you want to go for a Boston Crab?
To torture people who play close guard.
Anybody who plays close guard properly is really hard to do.
I don't know, man. I found quite a lot of Boston Crabs on people who play close guard.
What, you just throw the leg over?
It's like,
you just throw the leg over and I think that would be the only one, yeah. I think that would be, but they'd have to really be holding on to be like, oh, I want to hold you, and just leaving their legs by your hips. Yeah, I think that would be a cool entry. Or if you like going down for like a belly down ankle lock or something, and they leave the other leg, then you could be like, fucking grab the other one and sit back up.
I think scooping that one up with your hand that you're bouncing on is pretty difficult. But dude, I think we need to go out and spread the good word of Boston Crabs again.
I really looked at. I'll try them tomorrow. I'll try Boston Crab people tomorrow.
Force someone into close guard just to Boston Crab them. Take them down, hold them there, force your way into close guard just to Boston Crab them. Like that's a dominance move.
That's tomorrow's plan then.
That's how you assert dominance. That's one level down from just pissing on them.
Boston Crab. Well, the Walls of Jericho is the same thing, ain't it? Just a different name.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit higher up. Sharpshooter,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, we need to go through all that stuff. We're back to WWE again.
Yeah, The Rock and Ric Flair.
Dude, let's Boston Crab. I think if we can hit that on someone tomorrow, like you call me, like, say, yo, Chris, when you hit it, and I'll come and get a photo.
You have to be quick. I'll be like, Chris, get this man. He's trying to run away.
Dude, hold them there. They can't go anywhere. They've got no legs. But I think if we can get a picture of that, we may start attracting a different crowd of like people who are confused as to what we do. Marketing.
Yeah.
Expand.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll find that one out. When does a sweep become a leg kick?
Oh, foot sweep, you mean?
When you
swing it. I mean, if your foot is going from like where you lift it from the front and it doesn't swing backwards, I reckon that's okay. But if it swings backwards and you whip it in, then I think that's a kick. But if it's gone from the point where your foot's on the floor to going straight into the foot, I think you can get away with that. Like, you can't generate that much power without like putting your hip into it. And most foot sweeps, like, yeah, if you're putting your hip into it, it's a leg kick, man.
I guess it just depends on the sharpness of the impact and whether it's more pushing or not.
I think it's
like if you impact and push, I say it's more sweep. If you impact and just like sharp impact, that's kick.
It's a subjective one, isn't it? Where like you have to look at it case by case. You can't just give it to. I don't think you can put a rule behind it because you'd have to watch it and be like, okay, is that a kick or is that a foot sweep? I think it's an opinion thing as well. How what you class it as. I mean, like Al, for example.
Push.
Some people would argue Al, clears how he does his foot kick, foot sweep. Some people would argue that is a kick, but I don't think that's a kick.
I think it's the amount of push.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you were to do like a tie kick on someone, except when you made impact, instead of kicking it, as in like making a sharp impact, you connected and pushed with your leg.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the same. I think I think a sweep would be the pushing aspect of your leg instead of it being like just sharp impact.
But you're pushing through, like you're pulling through with it. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you can, no matter where you're coming from or like swinging it back from or anything like that. It's when you make impact, are you pushing with it or are you just making impact with it?
Yeah, but some MMA fighters do throw a leg kick with the same kind of motion where they take the foot with them as well. So it's you could argue it's borderline, man. But yeah, I don't know. I've been kicked a few times where I've thought, that's a bit of a leg kick, that is. But it's just what it is, isn't it? Sometimes, unfortunately, strengthen up your calves.
Yeah. It depends on it's up to the victim.
Yeah.
To define whether they're kicked or pushed.
You want to push in pads on? You want to push in guards on? Let's do MMA.
Exactly.
I mean, we kick each other. Nobody's complained yet.
That's true. Fair. Okay. Ready?
Is this a special one?
This question.
Okay.
Didn't put on Instagram.
Okay. Are you going to say tall?
Do you go?
Not going to leave anything out, yeah? You're not going to cover it. Just say it how it is. Okay, let's go then. Explicit content.
How would you go about teaching ecologically to people who are retarded? That was the question as posed. I think they meant.
Okay, go on.
How would you go about teaching ecologically to people who don't get the angle that you are coming from and don't grasp jiu-jitsu as effectively? I didn't feel right posting that one, but again made me laugh that you said, "Oh, Gracie Barra." I was like,
damn, they're gonna come after me, Chris.
I didn't say that. You didn't even know the question, and I was like, "That's different."
Oh shit! If I didn't have enough people on me in the outside world, I'm gonna have bloody people in the jiu-jitsu world after me now.
Welcome.
Welcome
to
Villaincast. Shit, yeah, you're wanted in you're wanted in Brazil.
Yeah, true. For ruining jiu-jitsu, ruining the sacrosanct of the belt system by being a rainbow belt.
So are we answering this question, or are we just gonna laugh about it? Like, do you want me to answer it?
I think yes. Go on then. How do you go about teaching ecologically to constraint-led to people who don't get it?
Be more practical with them. Like, put them in situations where they are going to understand it. Like, if they don't understand what you're saying to them, like, again, there's different ways people learn. And ecological, like, again, I don't want to say anything bad about it, but it's a trend again. Like, we're going through this jiu-jitsu trend where the buzzword is ecological at the moment. I mean, it's not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong, but and people are finding it benefits from it because there's a different way of learning. But there are other ways. I think the best way to learn is to use different ways of learning as well, not just ecological, not just technique based, not just use different ways of learning, and if you can, off different people, and then you can, you will find an answer. Like, if you want it, like, the biggest problem with jiu-jitsu or keeping people in jiu-jitsu is whether they want it or not. That's the biggest problem. It's not the case of they're not getting it or they don't they're leaving jiu-jitsu because it's they don't understand it. It's usually because it's too hard for them, so they leave jiu-jitsu. It's just a simple fact. Most of the time, anybody who I've spoken to, or either life takes over. But again, I think that comes into it, that if you really want it, you will go and find it. Like, for example, we're addicts. Even when we're on holiday, you have to be like, I need to get a roll in somewhere. I need to get a roll in somewhere. You know what I mean? You really want it. But I think if you want to learn it, there's always a way. You will find you can find a way to learn. You can always experiment. I fully believe that, because over the years, since I've been coaching now since 2000, when did I get my blue belt, Chris? 2017, 18, 17, yes, 18, yeah. Dude. So after 17. My blue belt is when I started teaching. 17. Yeah. That's when I started coaching or teaching slowly. And now, since then, like, I've had a lot of people who have managed to get jiu-jitsu across to, but not the same way, because I've had to experiment, because again, but they had different needs and different ways of learning, and some things suited them, some things didn't. Some I still try and do that. Well, I try and do the stuff that we do in class and what I'm doing in my other privates and other classes, where we're doing the half eco and half active drilling kind of stuff. But some I still have to do technique too, because they do not understand the whole ecological approach. They just want to learn techniques. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll teach you like that, because that's how you want to learn. And that's how you're learning. I've tried the other approach. You haven't took it in. And it's like, you're looking at me confused, and I don't want to waste your time and money. So I need to find a way to make you understand or make you learn jiu-jitsu. So there is a way, I believe.
Well, that's the thing. So I kind of think gravitate towards this a little bit. So yeah, some people are absolutely, they want technique. Drilling maybe not the best version, but that's what, again, I use the bonsai tree all the time, is that depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you approach from a different aspect. As in, the more broad the answer, the more ecological I think the method. But when it comes to like detail, like, really focusing in like how to finish a choke, you can't really ecological that one. Like, you can come out of the idea that, okay, chokes are I said this in years gone by, is that concepts in jiu-jitsu are the machine. We apply ourselves to the machine and techniques come out the other end. And I guess ecological is a science the same way. You apply yourself to the physics and physiology whilst under duress. You come out with techniques, and those techniques are examples of physics and physiology. But then you got to think that, okay, yeah, absolutely, but there are things that have been created by the machine that we use. You can explain the machine and explain the details of how that thing works, like how that particular choke, is controlled, affected, etc. But when it comes to setups and broad things like standing up, go ecological. And so when it comes to teaching a lot of that stuff, like some of the privates that I do, it's just an hour of rolling. But I'll try and dictate where the roll goes. Like, I'll dictate how much they're controlled or how much little they're controlled. I'll direct them around, basically to then force them molding them into the grappler that I think they should be, by putting them under duress in certain circumstances.
Yes,
that seems to essentially that's what I've kind of done anyway. From most of my time on the mats, it's like even in rolling, just putting someone under stress and force them into certain circumstances to force growth in certain areas.
Yeah.
So it's not just about kicking someone's head in for an hour.
Yeah.
As fun as it is.
But I mean, a prime example, like you get a beginner, and let's say you've done a little bit of your wrestling and they understand it a bit. So again, going back to my class again, you're 3 months in, you think, yeah, okay, they've got decent understanding at stand up, they can take them down, they know how to stand up safely, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Now we need to get some technique in. Where's the technique going to come in? Can you use the ecological approach? If nobody's ever done a leg lock or how to leg lace or how to play any of the guards or anything, I'll just say to them, go and do leg locks. Or hold them in this way, that way, you need to have your legs on the inside, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not going to get it. There has to be a point where I have to be like, okay, I need to show you a few things now. So this is how you hook the leg. This is how you position your legs. This is what the inside-outside position is. And show them a few positions like single leg X or the K or, you're like, okay, these are the like specific technique. This is where you need to get to. And now we can apply the ecological approach, because now I can be like, okay, you're going to start in this position and this is where you need to get to, blah, blah, blah. And, again, that's the prime example right now. You can't just say to a beginner, oh, yeah, go play leg locks or go ankle lock them in this way. Like, there has to be a technical approach to that.
Your camera's gone off, by the way.
Hey?
Your camera's just dropped out.
Is it back?
There you are. Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
It was there. I don't know.
What happened there?
But yeah, am I back?
Yeah, we're all good.
Well, you could hear what I was saying.
Yeah, you could hear it. We're all
cool.
Good. And so going back to this idea of someone who's not getting it, I think essentially, like as long as you kind of keep the idea kind of broad, like I need you to just do this. You then, as like a higher level person, can direct them in that way. You can control them enough to like force growth in those areas.
Yeah.
But I think that's how you could get around that problem. Like, and there are some people who pick up jiu-jitsu different to others. And again, I don't like the idea of it being competition, like the game competition. I prefer the idea of it being a puzzle and a puzzle solver.
Yes.
And if I need to teach someone who's, not getting it as fast, I make simpler puzzles. But it can still, that causes growth. Last question. I think we managed to control the results of that one to make it so it wasn't as controversially...
it was controversial.
...presented. Strategies and principles for attacking and controlling the front headlock position. We did this last week. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Our mistake. We shouldn't have given this to Andy. Because like every angle now, he's just grabbing people by the chin.
Yeah.
And like, I like the idea, but not from down there. Strategy and principles for attacking and controlling the front headlock. So once you've got a front headlock on someone, you've broken their posture. Like if you keep their forehead down, don't let their forehead to rise, their posture's broken. And then if you want to control them even further, allow them, hold them in their tracks, chin cup them, because then you've got their neck.
Pull that elbow
chin cup
away.
them, pinch their head between your elbow and your rib cage, or pull their face up. And that's how I control the front headlock, is make sure their forehead is down, so they can't posture their head up, because then they get their power back, they can bring their hips in. And then chin up.
Yeah.
Lock the neck. Put weight on the back of the skull.
Yeah, bring your shoulder into the back of their neck. Pull the elbow apart. I always look for like, I don't know what the name for it is, but like the anaconda grip, but then you grab the armpit and the head with one hand. We do them crazy.
It's like a half anaconda and that like rolling cradle that we do.
When I go front headlock, that's my like end goal, and anything else in the middle, like I'm happy with. But because then you got like sick control.
That's, I think, just a general kind of thing anyway, is that like if I'm going to mount, or I want to control people in general like that. If you can tie someone's arm to their head, if you tie someone's arm to their
simple
ears,
concept,
not like an anaconda choke or anything like that, just grab hold of the tricep from like a head wrap. Just keep their head tied to their ears, arm tied to their ears. You'll control their posture pretty decently. So I agree completely. Like I always make sure that. There we go. Save that one.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm happy. I've got a little mute button here, so if I sneeze, it doesn't. That would have been awful. Like you would have hated. Like imagine being in a car and hearing that one over the podcast. That would have been awful. So save that one. Yeah, control the front headlock. I think it's pretty easy once you get hold of someone's face. That's why wrestlers have been doing it forever.
Yeah,
why wrestlers have it, and you see it all the time. Yeah.
And I may be mistaken, I'm not sure, I'm guessing, is wrestling the oldest form of grappling? Like, in terms of, as an Olympic sport maybe, or like from, I know wrestling is really old.
Pancrase, yeah. But no, as in, I think wrestling is just like a catch-all term for throwing another person to the ground.
So yeah, that happened from day dot then when humans fought.
Yeah. You can use it interchangeably of grappling and wrestling. Like it's just it's semantics at this point. It's the nomenclature and the etymology. It's whatever makes you happy. Like you can look at freestyle wrestling and then you got Greco, but when it comes to the word wrestling, it's how do you grapple someone?
Yeah.
Like how am I going to hold you? And like I like that idea as well. Like so. Again, I may be mistaken in this, but I'm pretty sure very old forms of boxing contained grappling. And then when they removed grappling because they thought it was too violent, that's why you have the idea of no holds barred. Like because then it's like no holds, as a shorthand for saying this is extreme. Like this is no holds barred arguing or whatever. And it's essentially a way of saying, like, if that's extreme, like, no holds barred, it means that normally holds are barred, which means you can't grapple. So the idea of no holds barred just means grapple. Yeah, like grapple, wrestle, it's just interchangeable words of throwing another person to the deck and hurting them and holding them down. And like you can then look at all those historical forms of grappling and say, well, it's just using another word to call it wrestling.
Yeah.
I think that's the only difference. It's just language at this point. Just if it doesn't involve striking, it's wrestling. Look at it that way.
Simple.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, there's only two forms of human combat, aren't there? Hand to hand, striking or grappling.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, quotes I've heard in the past, like, human beings, if you put two human beings together, or a bunch of human beings together, they do three things.
Yeah, he said this last
week. They communicate, they fuck, and they learn to grapple, which I guess could be the same thing. Just one's less clothes on. How'd that get there?
You have to get something in. It was a clean podcast till then.
It fucking wasn't. I have had to tread some lines. You questioned the sexuality of guard pullers, which
that was accidental.
Yes,
that was accidental.
Then we questioned the intelligence of people in jiu-jitsu and how you can teach them,
which we were nice about.
I balanced that one, and now we're questioning other things, and I think we're being quite nice about it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody takes us seriously anyway, do they?
I have no idea. I think it's the slow meander towards professionalism that we've taken. Back when there was only two of us, and the only people who listened to the podcast were us anyway. Like we could say what the hell we wanted, but now it's like,
got to be a bit more PC.
Did you see when people were posting their top 5 things off Spotify, like their top. I put on my.
I was wondering what this bloody recent trend is. I'm like, what is this going on?
Oh no, it's the end of year things. Like my YouTube Music has done it. My Duolingo's done it. Like
it's a new thing. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
I think they've done it every year, but like I think podcasting is bigger now on Spotify, so it's coming up, and it's like your top 5 podcasts of the year. And like the fact that we were like top 5 or even 1
in anybody's top 5, like,
wow, like god damn, that's a form of self-harm. Like you putting on this.
That was worse than my gay comment. That was.
Yeah, no. It is a form of, if you're in the car listening to Villaincast, like that's
something's wrong with you.
That's a cry for help. That's a cry for help right there. I like so I've done there's another podcast that's going to come out with Robbie Scott, and we've got other podcasts, and I like doing the interviews of various people in jiu-jitsu, but it's not the same as when you've got the mailbag and we can put up that little picture and you go, hey folks, send us your questions, and we don't know what the fuck is coming, and we open up the mailbag, the old Jimmy Savile, and we answer them, and it's a magical time.
We need to stop calling it the Jimmy Savile mailbag.
Dude.
Can you imagine if we're doing this podcast in our 60s, mate? We can't fucking call it that.
Just call it Jimmy's Corner. Like, you just have like a normal opening to the week, and then go, right, let's see what's in Jimmy's Corner, and let's open the mailbag.
Oh, I think it's getting late now.
It is getting late now. Do you think we should do like a Christmas special?
No, I don't mind.
Oh, so I think I'm going to try and figure this out. I think on this, we can get audience members in.
I saw something on Discord.
I think we can get people to drop in on video, and
so we prank them.
As in, we can invite people in, like almost like call in, like a radio show.
Yeah,
like they pop up on video and they can like ask us questions and stuff, and like jump into the podcast.
Can we
so I'm thinking about doing that as a Christmas. I think as much as you think we're going to prank them, I think if we do this, we're going to get abused so badly, and it's going to go off the rails. Dude, we're going to. I don't know how much to open it up. I think people would just drop in just to fucking hurl abuse and just say dumb shit.
Yeah, you prick.
I'm here for that. So as a Christmas special,
you never know. We might get some fights and fucking some promotions. Let's do it. Somebody might be like
participation.
Yeah. Somebody might have some beef with us, some black belts, and be like, yeah, Grapple Fest, Pilates, whackers on.
Oh, it's so yeah. The
beef. Let's have beef.
I'll figure out the logistics, but I think man, I think we can do the Villaincast Christmas special.
Let's do it.
We got a Christmas special. We could do a Christmas special. It's magical this time of year. Pleasure as always. Reap the week. Check out In Theory BJJ. Content is going up rapid now, and it's the production quality. Worth it for that alone. There's In Theory BJJ t-shirts. They'll be shipped worldwide, if possible, wherever shirts can be shipped to. Said that properly. Otherwise, Naqi's going to be making more content as well. He has it there in his little list of things to do.
Yes.
This has been another episode of Reap the Week. Thank you, Naqi.
Thank you. See you later.
See you later.